But when Carl set the Appalachian record,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
yeah, that was awesome. I was super happy to see that.
Plus he did it kind of low profile. He wasn't posting crap constantly. You know, it wasn't like all about him getting.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I've got a special video for you, and this is when I went up to see Dusty Olson up in Sault Ste. Marie. Now for those of you who don't know who Dusty Olson is, he is an ultra runner. He paced Scott Jurek to multiple Western States 100 wins. He was also up in Hard Rock to pace Scott Jurek as well. He's also helped other friends of his do ultras, and he's going to be pacing another friend of his for Hard Rock this year as well. So very exciting for Dusty. He's feeling much better. He's battled Lyme disease, all kinds of different things. Actually, I have an interview that you can see right there. Click on the card at the top, and it's an interview I did with Dusty talking about Lyme disease and how he's had to overcome that crazy disease. Like, it is just decimating populations across, the U.S. And Canada. So, anyways, this was the run that we did, 2017, up in Sault Ste. Marie. It was, I think, the day after Canada Day, so July 2nd. And we met over at a little restaurant over there. Then we made our way out and did like a little 10-kilometer run. It was really, really cool. So some of the footage is in this video, along with a little talk that we did after the run, where I talked to Dusty about a little bit about his kind of upbringing, some of the challenges he's had, and his coaching services that he offers. Anyways, you'll see it all there. Hopefully you enjoy it, and until tomorrow, have a good one. Happy Canada Day, everybody. So how am I spending my Canada Day? Well, I'm getting ready to go to Sault Ste. Marie. And, you're probably going, why Sault Ste. Marie? It's Canada Day. Why do you want to be driving? Well, I'm actually going to Sault Ste. Marie to meet up with a ultra marathoner, ultra runner, legend, accomplished skier, kayaker, the one and only Dusty Olson. And for those of you who do not know who Dusty is, you should. He is an extraordinary guy, and he also paced Scott Jurek to 6 Western States 100 championships. So it takes a special kind of guy to do something like that, and to keep people motivated. Anyways, so a little bit of Dusty. He, over the years, has continued to run. He stopped pacing Scott a number of years ago, and anyways, he ended up getting Lyme disease. Well, that sucks for anyone that knows what Lyme disease is. It affects you neurologically, your joints, inflammation, hearing, eyesight, organ shutdown. Like, there's so many different crazy things that Lyme disease does. Sometimes it renders people where they can't even get out of bed. So anyways, I read a book. So how does this all work? Like, I read a book called Born to Run, which led to reading about Scott Jurek's adventures in Eat and Run, which he introduced Dusty Olson, who is his best friend at the time. And so in reading Scott's book, he introduced his friend Dusty Olson, and I came kind of intrigued with all the characters in the book. So I Googled everybody, and anyways, I found out that Dusty had come down with Lyme disease. And since then, I've listened to a number of podcasts, and in January, I thought, I want to reach out to Dusty and see if he'd be interested in meeting up with me, because I have certain things that can help with Lyme disease. I've been involved with doTERRA for about a year and a half, and I've seen how it's affected my wife with her depression, how it's affected me with my training and running, and a few of my friends who I've helped with Lyme disease. And so, in using the product, I thought, I'm going to reach out to Dusty and I'm going to see, if he'd be willing to talk to me. Sure enough, he replied back. He said he'd love to, and that was about 2 months. Well, actually, it was a little bit longer than that. But it's been about 2 months since he's been using the product with doTERRA, and he's seen results. And he agreed to meet up with me this weekend and talk about what he's been going through and how it's helped. And at the same time, why not interview him with regards to how it's worked for him, along with maybe getting to run with him if he's up to it, and to talk about where he sees things going in the future, and maybe talk about a little bit about the past. Anyways, that's me. I've got about a 7-hour drive ahead of me, so I'm going to leave on Canada Day to go see Dusty. Let's make it happen. I'm here in Sault Ste. Marie. Just gonna check out the downtown. Man, that was one heck of a drive. Pretty flat, uneventful, but we're gonna go check out what's going on over here. And I'm hungry. I gotta go find some food. Dusty and I are going running. We have no idea where we're going though.
Check out the map.
So, where are we?
Tala.
Tala. Tala. Tala.
Excited.
Hey, where are you? Wait.
Calm down.
Do you want this? Do you want me to throw that? Dusty's dog's awesome. Ready? No, what this way? I'm gonna throw backwards. There she goes. It's awesome, Dusty. So you haven't been here before.
No,
I haven't been here. This is all new.
Get lost. Looks like just one big loop.
Yeah. So Dusty, we're
small
gonna take off. We're gonna do nice little loop at Algonquin Ski Trail, and I don't know, whatever this place is. This place here. Okay, Dusty, tell me, man, you want to coach people, or actually you have a coaching business, don't you?
Yeah. Private, no one knows about it. I don't advertise or anything.
Well, let's advertise it now.
I can coach random people.
All right, so if someone wants to get in touch with, okay, so let's look at this. You've been running for what, 23 years?
Way longer than I'd like to admit in front of single available women.
So if somebody wants to learn to run, would you if someone was, not in shape, they wanted to lose weight, they wanted to, sure, there's all kinds of training plans out there that people could do, right? There's things like that. But what kind of caliber, the people that you coach and the people that come to you, where are they coming from? Are they coming from the ultra scene? Are they just young kids wanting to get into running? Or who would you take on?
It's anyone that contacts me. I mean, I have a lot of high school friends that never ran in high school, and it's kind of cool, people that used to look at you weird, because I generally never admitted to people that I was an athlete, and I hung out with the degenerates, and I hung out with everyone, but I trained on my own. And in junior high, people it's not cool to go out for a 10-mile run or go Nordic skiing or Tala.
Of course, Tala wants to
Tala.
She just wants us to play stick with her, so we'll do that. Ready?
But it's not, so I've always, it's kind of cool if high school friends start contacting you about about running and stuff, and it's not that complicated. You just have to go out and run.
Yeah.
Generally.
Well, Dusty,
There's a lot of science behind it. That, a lot of knowledge. And gang over the years.
yeah, there is a little knowledge.
I guess I take my knowledge for granted.
So enough. No more taking it for granted, okay? Look, Dusty's got lots of experience. He's run, like, name some of the races you've run. I mean, I'm not going to start spitting them out. I mean,
yeah, I've ran a lot of them.
like, come on, what was the one that you really enjoyed? The one that you just told me about? The Superior.
The Superior Trail 100. Yeah, any of John Storkamp's races are amazing races put on by amazing race director.
And I'm gonna
community.
I'm gonna add, like, Dusty came first, right? Number one.
Yeah, I've won one or two of his races.
Well, if you look at Dusty's ultra sign up, I mean, you can see he's done a lot, right? He's got a lot of single digits in there in terms of places, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, Dusty, like 3 years ago I wasn't a runner.
Mm-hmm.
I ran in I didn't even run in high school. I ran in junior high. But I put on a lot of weight. I needed to make some changes, and I started looking online. But out of all the people that I've met, like that I've seen online, like all these ultra runners and everybody, I wanted to meet up with Dusty. And one of the real reasons is like Dusty comes from a background that there's a lot of kids out in the world that are coming from, right? Like, give me an idea. Like, if you had to describe your upbringing, Dusty, what would you say it was?
I was independent, when your parents give you a quarter and tell you to go down to the YMCA for the day, take the bus down, the city bus. You kind of learn how to be independent and just do your own thing.
And how old were you when all this was going on?
Like 5 when my mom,
okay, guys.
Parents, they did a good job at dropping me off at the right places. I was a hyperactive little kid, so.
Did they pick you up there at least?
Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. I'd have to ride the bus back.
But
I was a hyperactive kid, so the lifeguards would just get me swimming. They'd be seeing how many laps I'd do. I was like 8 years old. I swam 2 miles.
Okay, I don't know how many 8-year-olds are going to run 2 miles swim 2 miles. That's crazy. So, when you think about it, there's a lot of kids who are growing up in poverty, right?
Yeah.
Like across the United States, across Canada, across the world, right? And I think one of the ways that they look towards things to kind of get them out of their situation is
that's definitely
sports,
one thing that
right?
helped me throughout my childhood is like one, my mom didn't always like the friends I hung out with or didn't really want me to do this or that. But the one thing I could always get out of the house and do is I could always go running or I could always go skiing or I could, that's the one thing that was always allowed.
So you're self-taught. Is that what you, pretty much?
For the most part, I've had some coaches here and there, but I've never had like a full-time coach writing out my training program. My first real coach that I pretty much learned a lot of my stuff from, he just wanted me to, be my own athlete and learn how to train myself because, coaches, a coach can't tell you if coach doesn't know what you're going through. They know some, but like you know yourself better than a coach knows you. So you just have to figure yourself out, and coach figure out what you're going to do and what you need to do it.
So when you have somebody that's gone through it, who's gone through the trenches, who's paced Western states, who's run the Superior 100, who's run, what's some of your other races that you've done?
Well, I haven't run the 100. I won the Superior Trail Marathon.
Marathon.
But I've paced for the 100 a bunch of times.
So there you go. So
I've been around a lot of races.
So pacing's not easy, right? Because you've got to look after your runner, right? Like sometimes you just got to kick them in the ass. Sometimes you gotta really find out what motivates them and to get them off, right?
It matters who you're racing. If you're pacing a slow guy, you're frustrated because you're just walking and you're not really getting a workout. But then if you're pacing like Scott Jurek, it's like sitting in a car for the first crewing him and then having to get out of my car and run 7-8 minute miles with him and carry most of his water. And Scott's water bottle got empty. you know, he expected me to give him mine and like
Yeah.
my food, and everything I carry would potentially go to Scott. If,
welcome to the life of a pacer. So
Yeah,
if you've got a child, or if you're wanting to get into running, or if you're a runner and you want some help, right? Dusty, he's the guy as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I came all the way from pretty much Toronto, Canada to meet up with this guy. And I think he's an A1 guy. We just went for a run. Okay, so this is what we're facing with. So Dusty said, what do you want to do? And I went, Dusty.
it's just a mud puddle.
All right, here we go. That's Dusty for you. So, yeah, there you go. So, I guess I have to do the same thing. Okay. All right. So, if you're going to be a trail runner, did you walk in this part here?
It's only 62 feet. But the speed go, that's pretty cool. Carl Meltzer, the only ultra runner with his own shoe.
That's true.
You know, his own name on it. He's got Killian and Jurek and all the other ultra runners, but Carl.
Carl's a beast, and I'm super impressed. So, you know, when you're coming from a point of experience and what he's done, reach out. I mean, Dusty can hook you up with what you have to do, and you know, he'll kind of explain, you know, his different kind of training packages he has and stuff like that, depending on where you're coming from and what type of training you need, right? And what kind of coaching you need. So reach out to him, and his services. Like I said, I've just been with a run with him, and I'll tell you, running through some of the stuff that I've run through is, honestly, I don't think I would have done that if I wasn't with Dusty. I mean, it was very cool. So what else, Dusty? Like, if they want to reach out to you, they can connect with you on Facebook, or...
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, so I generally respond to people that contact me. I don't check the message requests things every day, but generally people sincerely contact me. I usually give them my, you know, it's kind of it's definitely one of the things that helped me out through life is different coaches that were there that, you know, were able to keep me on track and supportive and stuff. So.
Well, that's good. Well, good stuff, man. So, all right, I'll put it in the kind of show notes kind of below the video, and, you know, we can see how we can connect you with Dusty. So anyways, later, man, everyone. Peace out.
See ya.